I have a big bag of stuff here, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Welcome back to the Pomchi pack, everyone. If you are new, welcome. If you find that you like what we do here, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and join the Pomchi pack. Today we are going to do something very fun. Well, at least for me. I hope it's fun for you guys. So not only are we going to do the makeup that I have, but I also have a few things for skincare, like exfoliators and face cleansers and stuff. Let's just go ahead and get right into the products. Let me grab the bag right here. Let's start with like skin cleansers and like moisturizers first. How's that sound? First one here is this detoxifying charcoal mask, and this has actually been really good for me. And then I also have the skin refining detoxifying cleanser. Now, I've used these together for like the past 2 months, and they've worked really well for me. These have been really nice to prevent any breakouts or over oily skin. I'm actually hoping that Michael will try this, even though it is a makeup product. He will want to try it because he does have normal to oily skin, and I'm hoping that this will help refine it and kind of balance out the oils in his face. But we will see. Honestly, if you have oily skin, this is a line to help you. It's supposed to help refine your skin. Next up is the vitamin C line, and I only have 2 items in the vitamin C line. So I have this vitamin C exfoliator, and I also have this vitamin C activator. It doesn't say on the bottles how often you should use this, but I usually do it maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how my skin feels. But I think this vitamin C line is a lot better for my skin type than the charcoal and flower one. This one is supposed to help invigorate and energize your skin and just kind of just clear it out. I don't have any items from the honey and rose line yet, but I'm looking forward to getting some next time I go to the store, because I really do think that that is more for my skin type. I've used both of these and I've noticed my skin feeling a lot fresher, and since using both of these about once every 2 weeks, sometimes once a week depending on how my skin feels, honestly this has helped a lot. And I think using this in congruence with the honey and rose line, I think depending on what my skin feels like at that time, I think these 2 lines would definitely be better for me in particular. Now, as far as cleansers, that is everything that I have. We can go ahead and hop right into the makeup now. I have this big pack of makeup wipes. They have, since I bought this, upgraded the packaging. These work really well for me. I really like to use this one, but I haven't really been able to use the wipes nearly as much because I don't use a lot of face makeup. I use a lot of eye makeup. So what I use instead is this one from Affinia. And this one is just like it's not an oil-based makeup remover. Like, it doesn't feel super oily when you leave it on your skin. There are some makeup removers that I've used from other brands that, like, they make my face feel kind of like I'm about to have a breakout. This is a really clean, kind of water-based kind of feeling, but it takes off makeup just like an oil-based remover would. I also have the Sei-Bella one. So these are both makeup removers, but one is just the Sei-Bella brand and one is the Melaleuca Affinia brand. The Affinia brand is a little less expensive. I'm not really quite sure what they're geared towards in formulation, but this one is more like a higher brand, like Mary Kay, and this one's kind of like Revlon, you know? That's at least my idea of it. Honestly, if I was to choose between the 2 of these, I would choose the Sei-Bella one. Sometimes if I get this one too much in my eye, like if I'm using a cotton pad instead of a Q-tip, if I get it in my eye, sometimes it will sting. And I used both of these and neither one of them really affect my skin too much. Alright, so next we're going to start from the top. So we'll start with base. So I have a foundation primer that I use from Sei-Bella as well. I've used this one several times actually, but I wanted to include it because it's actually really great. I used it for my wedding last year and it's still like mostly full. I don't need to use hardly any of it. It spreads so easily and it makes your makeup so much easier to go on. I used to use these type of foundations. These are cream to powder foundations. The reason why I have 2 is because one is in porcelain and one is in sand. I wanted to show you guys the color of both. I used to use these and I realized that they are not good for my skin type. They didn't really give me any problems, it's just they didn't spread very well because I have really dry skin and just the cream just like made it flake. I guess. So when I was trying to put the foundation on, it would just create like these bumps in my skin and like holes in the foundation because it was just pulling up dead skin at the same time. And I know that sounds really gross, you guys, but this was honestly one of the things that it was a really great product and I had a hard time switching over. But then I found something even better that they had that was better for my skin type. This is the one that I switched over to, the CC Brightening Cream, and this one I got in the color Fair. All of Melaleuca's like moisturizers and lotions and even foundations all have sunscreen in them of some variation. I'm pretty sure it's SPF 20 to SPF 25. It doesn't add too much thickness or weight to your makeup. It just covers up any red splotches. The mailman just passed my house. This CC cream actually helps to cover that up a little bit and to take back that harshness a little bit and even out my skin tone. Now, speaking of evening out skin tone, I have really bad dark circles underneath my eyes, and I do have really deep eye sockets, so it has been a problem ever since I was younger, and as I get older, I notice it to be more of an issue. But I really love this product, you guys. This has been a lifesaver for me because I was starting to get like actual bags and circles underneath my eyes. And I just was like, I've had enough, I'm fed up with this. And I finally found this product, and it's called Brite Eyes Multi-Benefit Eye Treatment. As you guys can see, it's in a little tube, and it has this little cap that comes off and a slanted little applicator. This applicator is metal, and it feels so good on your under eyes. Because if you're anything like me and you get kind of inflamed underneath your eyes, especially if you've had a few nights of not so great of sleep, this helps to cool it down and relax it. And even if you don't want to use any of the product on your eye that day, you just want to put some water on the end of the tip and just go back and forth. It'll help to not only decrease the inflammation because of the coolness of the metal applicator, but also it might help to get that motion to move out any inflammation that's in there. I don't know how scientific that is, but that is just what I do sometimes if I don't want to use too much of the product, or I feel like I just need a little bit of a pick-me-up. All right, now we're gonna move over to moisturizers. So the two that I have tried so far, and these have changed since, but these are the two moisturizers that I've used so far. I actually found that I prefer the cream, and I realized why. This cream is for normal to dry skin. And I was using the lotion because I thought that this was better for dry skin. But the cream is geared more towards dry skin. It's a little bit thicker, it spreads easier, and it stays on longer. And what I really love about this cream is that it doesn't feel oily. Now, since they've rebranded Sei-Bella a little bit and they changed up some of the products, this one is now the Vitamin C Daily Defense Creams. Now, this lotion has been really helpful for me too, and there are situations where I would use it over the cream. If I'm just putting it on and I have to put on my makeup right afterwards, I will put this one on instead of the cream. I found that it works better when I put on my CC Brightening Cream. It just spreads easier and it doesn't fight against each other as much as the cream does with the Brightening Cream. So this one I do still keep and I will still buy, but I mostly use the cream version. And this one, since the rebrand, they have a lotion in pretty much every single line except for the vitamin C, because the vitamin C has the cream version instead of the lotion. Now this one that I'm going to show you is kind of similar to the CC Brightening Cream in application, but this one is actually really interesting. And it took me about 3 months to figure out how to actually use it. And once I got a decent, I don't know what decent means. Once I got a decent blending sponge, this has been a lifesaver. But this one I've actually used pretty frequently on my regular makeup. I use it like a highlighter. So I put it underneath my eyebrows, the tops of my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, and the top of my lip. And it really makes my face pop. It's something that I did not know how much I needed until I started to use it. So it's really nice and light as well. I'm glad that it's not a powder because I do touch my face a lot. And once this thing is dried, it doesn't smear. I cannot, for some reason, not touch my face. It's a personal problem. But this has really been a lifesaver, and I'm really glad that I did try it out, even though I wasn't quite sure if I would use it. Honestly, I use it every day now. Alright, so next up I will have concealers. So I had two different types of concealers. This pink one is my most recent upgrade, and I'm glad that I did because again, I ran into the same problem that I was having with my cream to powder foundation. So I was trying this one right here, and this is the Flawless Age Defying Concealer, but it's in a pen form. And you just twist the top right here and it comes out the bottom. And you know, I was putting it on and it was the right color and everything. It's just I had a problem blending it because it wasn't gliding over my skin like it should. It was just grabbing my skin and like making it flake. And then I switched over to the liquid concealer, and that was the best decision I've ever made. And this pen I used in Light, the color Light. And then this one was after they rebranded Sei-Bella a little bit, and they changed the names of some of their foundations and even added a couple new shades. But this one I got in 95N, and this is the perfect shade for me. Like it was literally made for me. It's actually fabulous. Now moving on to lips, I have several things that I cannot live without. I don't wear lipstick, hardly ever, but I live for chapstick. I have a tendency to lick my lips and bite my lips a lot, especially when I'm editing videos because I'm focusing. So this has honestly saved my life, the lip treatment from Sei-Bella. And this honestly saves my lips after they are just completely wrecked. Like they could be cracked and bleeding, and I put this on, you know, maybe like 3 times a day for like 4 days, and they are completely back to normal. And it is just absolutely amazing, and it's actually soothing for any chapped lips, but it's like butter. It's like butter smooth, so it makes like a barrier between the air and your lips, and it seals in moisture or something. It's a miracle worker. I honestly don't know what I would do without this during the winter. In addition to that, I also use this hydrating lip serum because this is actually more of a lip gloss type of style. It's a little bit sticky, so I don't use it too much throughout the day. I like to use a lip treatment a little bit more because I just don't like the feeling of a sticky lip. Because I touch my face so much, I touch my lip sometimes, and I touch my hair, so then I get it in my hair. But I have like 3 or 4 of these in my drawer right now, and I bought another one because it's just, I know that, you know, sometimes they go unavailable sometimes, and I just have to have them. They are one of my like necessities that I have to have. And then of course we have something very simple. We have the Sugar and Spice lip balm from them as well. And this is not the Sei-Bella brand, this is just from Melaleuca. This one I really like the smell. Once you take the cap off, you guys can see that the adjustment is at the top, so when you twist the top, it changes the height. It's really comfortable to be able to move it up whenever you need to. Alright, now let's move on to the eye makeup. So we'll start with mascara. I have a Lash Primer and the Volume Extreme Lengthen Lift from them. And I really like both. I used this before I got this, and I didn't really like it too much. I felt like it didn't really give me the volume that I needed. It just clumped. But then when I started to use the Lash Primer with this, it smoothed it out and made it perfect and buttery. So I don't necessarily know exactly why this clumps so bad without this. But honestly, if you're willing to get both, this one is a great product in order to get your lashes nice and full. These both were before the rebrand that they had, so these will probably look a little bit different, and I'm pretty sure that they did reformulate their mascara, and from what I've heard, there's been rumors that it is so much better. Now next up I have the Eyeshadow Primer. This one has been something that I use off and on depending on how invested I want to be that day in my makeup. This really does help your eyeshadow spread easier. And it actually does help you blend a little bit more. I thought it was going to actually prevent me from blending as much because, you know, it's a cream on your eye, but it really does create like a nice pretty base coat on your eye. I have a few eyeshadow palettes, and a couple of them are brand new and one of them I've had for a while. So I've had this one since last June and it's still going strong. I've had it for more than a year, and honestly, as you guys can see, it's pretty full on most of them. You guys can see which color I use the most. That shimmery brown is just so perfect for the inner corners. But I honestly am so happy with this one, and the eyeshadows are very pigmented, especially when you use it with the eyeshadow primer. I would definitely suggest this one. Now, here are the two new palettes that I got. I was really excited about these because these have more of the colors that I want. I just got eyeshadow primer all over my pants. But these two have been really great to help me have a good balance of dark and light and a good transition tone as well. This one, the Earthbound one, I started with first, and I'm actually a big fan of it because it gives you two separate eye looks, kind of. So this top row is what I use most frequently. The one that I used today actually was Sienna on my outside, and then I used Fool's Gold on my middle, and then actually I mixed up palettes today. On the inner corners of my eye look today, I used Grim. And I really like this Grim color because it's not overly pink. In this West palette, I really like how it gives you a good combination of neutrals with colors. And I like how it separates it on one side to the other. It makes it really straightforward and easy and gives me more options on what I can do as far as eye looks, so that I'm not just sticking with the same three colors like I was with my Moroccan Treasures palette. Now we have two more items. So we have this one that I have had for quite a while, but I wanted to include it because it is fantastic. So this is just an eyeshadow pencil. And it's something that I was like, what on earth do you use with a cream eye pencil that's in champagne? And it's shimmery too, as you guys can see. It's quite shimmery and it's really light. And I was just like, I use black. Why would I want to use an eye pencil that's light? This is actually really helpful to do it underneath your eye line. And just do, like, instead of doing a black eyeliner underneath your lash line, to actually do this underneath it. It really, if you do have dark eyes and dark sockets, this makes your eyes pop so much better, and it just brings it out without putting too much makeup on. If you want to do just a last little finishing touch, this is a great way to do it. Now, last but not least, it is important that after, you know, putting your makeup on for, I mean, for me it's usually about 5 minutes, but for some it's like 15 or 20. And it's really important that that time is not wasted and that that makeup stays on. So, I bought this makeup setting spray because I obsessively touch my face, as I have mentioned many times in this video. Obsessively touch my face. So this makeup setting spray has been a requirement for me. To be honest, you guys, Sei-Bella has actually been a big reason why I even got into makeup, because they make it so straightforward for people who aren't taughty, who don't necessarily have the intuition to know what makeups to put together. You know, it's very straightforward. Alright, you guys, that is it for the products. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I sure did. Now I have a big mess that I need to clean up, but that's okay. If you did enjoy today's video and you aren't a part of the Pomchi pack yet, go ahead and click that button down below that has your name on it. That is, of course, if your name is subscribed. And if you guys would like to, we do have social media. We have our Facebook account, and we also have our Instagram account. We are pretty active on both with updates on new videos and also polls and questions. And the links for both of our social media accounts will be down in the description box below. But anyways, guys, with all of that said, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Now, the last thing you guys need to do for me is stay safe, be kind, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!